Breath of Fresh Bear here, back in the garage container garden, and I'm starting some new stuff today. But I'm going to try a little bit of an experiment, and I'll show you what I'm doing. So one of the things I'm real big on, as you can see here, is I like to repurpose some things and use some things that are not necessarily used very often for gardening, like these old jars and these cups that come from like a coffee shop type deal. And my wife likes to frequent coffee shops, and we like to get some fancy coffee, as some people would call it, here and there. And even like this old drawer here that somebody would just throw away or recycle or whatever, well, I can upcycle it here and actually use it as part of my planting bed. So what I'm doing here is just using these cups to start off seedlings, because I can reuse them. And as you can see here, I've started to actually, instead of writing directly on the cups, I'm actually duct taping to the front of it so that I can reuse it yet again, because I'm going to try to not break the cups when I pour the roots out and transplant them into something a little bit bigger for the next stage of the grow out. So what I'm actually doing here too, and I'll show you what I've got over here. So one of my ideas that I have is I am actually, I like to fish. So I had some minnows that I bought the other day, and you can get them fairly cheap from just about any bait shop, but they don't last very long in the water, and you don't generally use all of them. So by the time I get them back here, they're generally dead, and I figured why not try to put some underneath of the plants. So here you can see what I'm talking about. They're just little minnows. They're all dead. They sit in there. And I like to use the fish water to actually just in between in my containers, just go ahead and use the fish water in them, because it's full of nutrients that your plants need, nitrites and so on and so forth, that your plants will actually break down, and fish water is actually really good for them. But I've heard before that planting fish underneath of plants is a good idea. So what I'm going to try to do here, and you can see I put an F here on the side of the ones that I'm putting a fish under, and I'm actually going to plant 2 of each one of these, because this one here, and this one here all have fish buried underneath of them. And the cilantro here, I'll show you what I did with this too. This is actually kind of cool. Because these don't have drainage like your solo cups do, and this is what I actually plan on growing out this cilantro in, because it's an herb and it doesn't need much root space. And it'll actually grow fairly nice in this thing. So I've taken some rocks at the bottom here, and I just took a little tiny piece of leftover landscaping fabric and separated the rocks from the dirt so that you can actually see the drainage and the dirt doesn't get mixed in there and just sit. And I can actually have kind of a water gauge to see how much water's in the bottom of that and not get it waterlogged. And I'll actually probably use a spray bottle to do this more often than not, so that it gets water but doesn't get overwatered. We're going to try that out and see how that works, but it's just to kind of repurpose that jar, and because we don't get to recycle glass around here, so that's actually a pretty good use for that. But I'm going to try to plant some of these alongside and see which one actually looks healthier and greener after the shortest amount of time. And so there we are with all of them planted. I've got some California Wonder peppers, some new variety of cucumbers that I got, and a couple of tomatillo plants that were starting off here. And these were actually sent to me today by this company, Heaven's Harvest. No, I am not sponsored by them, but they are who I buy all my seeds through. And they just sent me these today in an envelope. So I planted them to see what the difference is. My other ones that I have are a pickling cucumber. But again, all of these are heirlooms, and you can see here where they're from. So again, I've had a really good germination rate and everything with these, so they've been really good. Try them out if you want. And then I am just going to take my fish water. I'm going to throw the rest of those fish in my compost pile, and then go take the fish water around to some of my plants that are a little bedraggled looking from all the chilly weather we've been having, and try to give them a little nitrogen boost. So we'll do that, and that's all I got for you guys today, and see you guys next time. And I'm going to try my best, I'm not very good at this, but try my best to remember to do a little bit of the, if you like this video, give it a thumbs up, and, you know, stay strong and all that other mumbo jumbo. I'm not very good at doing that stuff, but yeah, if you like this video, give it a good thumbs up and consider liking and subscribing to the channel. Appreciate you, and God bless.